So why people play Heroes to this day? Because this game is great. In Poland, it's like kind of religion, right? So yeah, this is serious business.
The simplicity of it is the key to understand it.
It's timeless.
It's epic.
It's my happy place.
Heroes of Might and Magic is a turn-based high fantasy video game series.
To put it simply, you control heroes, you build towns.
You gather armies and you go on adventures.
The first Heroes of Might and Magic was released in 1995. Since then, there have been 7 mainline installments. And now, with the Olden Era, we are finally getting a new release.
We'll rewind a bit. Heroes 1 has sort of the basic formula. Heroes 2 added things and made it more refined and more rich. And Heroes 3 was sort of taking that to the next level with more content and more possibilities.
The gameplay was ahead of all the games.
It was the AAA of that time, like this huge game.
So I think really the magic behind the games really is that sense of enchantment and warm feelings and nostalgia.
You can just click and start the game and everything always feels like at home.
What's great about Heroes of Might and Magic was a mix and match of a lot of things that normally shouldn't be blending together that well, but it works.
The mods, the board game, the music, so many things are going on, and it's all because of the fans.
Seeing how Heroes has become almost part of the culture in so many parts of the world, it kind of creates a feeling of legacy. We hope to establish engagement in our games, but for that engagement to last years after the games are over and become part of childhood memories, then it becomes legacy.
When I was young, I have zero like imagine that I gonna be conductor because I was into a lot of different things. I played football, I played a lot of games, and I play accordion. So I have no plan to connect some gaming stuff I loved with music, zero. I went to the Music University of Chopin. I started studying conducting and band leading. And the first year of university, we were on a bus for a school trip, and we were all talking about computer games. And then, girl next to me just said, "Come on, guys, do you know Heroes of Might and Magic?" And it was like, almost all the guys just said, "Oh my God, how it's possible that we forgot about the heroes?" And then we started to talk about heroes, Heroes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. And after a while, I said, "Guys, maybe we can try to play Heroes pieces." They say, "Oh my God, this is a super great idea, let's play." So basically, it started like this. I remember one day, I was like, I need to play Necropolis. So I called my friends. "Guys, come on, I'm gonna create a Heroes project. We're gonna record a Necropolis team. We're gonna play Necropolis team. It's gonna be super cool." And for the first recording, the choir was like more than 50 people. It was like super huge. And then from there, it got bigger and bigger and bigger.
I remember that first time I have heard about Heroes of Might and Magic, I didn't like it because I disliked the idea of turn-based fights in strategy games. And then eventually one of my friends showed me this game and I was immersed from the very seconds. The music, the graphics, the whole aura, the thing that you can spend hours playing campaign was really epic. And also for me as a father, it was very cool to show this game to my kid. So first of all, I showed only a small screen of Heroes 3, and then my son was like, wow, it looks really cool. And then after some time, I showed him the game, and eventually we could like play together in the hot seat mode. And I knew that it would click because the graphics are sparkling with magic and all those creatures, beasts, and mysteries. So I think it's no wonder that the series is still popular after so many years, because the game itself is so good. I work at CD Action, the longest running printed gaming magazine in Poland, operating since 1996. Well, if we are talking about Eastern Europe or mostly Poland, there are many factors that made this game so popular. First of all, we do like RPG games and fantasy games. We've got a lot of fantasy books. We tend to like this genre. The second factor is more like economical. It means that we started to have computers in our homes very late, and they were mostly of low-end specifications. So we were searching for the games that could run on the older PCs, and like Heroes fitted like perfectly.
Whenever fans approach me to talk about how much they loved Heroes of Might and Magic, there's always sort of this glint in their eye, like a sense of magical wonder about them. And what I think causes that is the fact that there's such a charming element to the game. It's more than just gameplay, it's more than just engagement. It is the charm that they get from experiencing being in this fantasy world, and all the nostalgic, warm feelings they have about growing up and sharing it with their friends and playing it with their family. So I think really the magic behind the game is what the players bring into it and the experience that the players get from playing it. So it affects both the lore between each of these creatures. How does that affect the background and the perception of the character they are playing? So next up in our roundup of inventory systems, we have the... Of course I had heard of Heroes 2. You know, it had won all these awards at the time and was very well received. So I got myself a copy and I spent the weekend playing it. And I was just a little concerned because this game was so good. I mean, it had all this colorful artwork and this gorgeous music, but most importantly, it had that just one more turn type of engaging gameplay that all games strive for, but they almost never achieve. Well, this game had it, and I was just enthralled by it. There was a slight issue though. How could I possibly make a sequel that could surpass it, let alone match it? But as I pondered it more, I saw an opening. What if it was more realistic? With Heroes 2, we had a very much illustrated storybook kind of quality. So I thought more of a even grim approach would make it even more immersive than it is. And to my enormous pleasure and gratitude, all the artists lived up to the challenge. I was so impressed with how good the artists were and what they were capable of doing. Everything had that cohesive, unified look that matched the style that I wanted to have for the game. So we were successful at it, partly because we had a really good process. I had established a clear vision, but mostly because of the talent of the artists.
I was very, very young when I first started to play Heroes. And I didn't know English, and our Heroes game was in English. The only things that I could really focus in the game were the ones that are readable to a child. So a universal language of sorts, I would say, that is either the visuals or the music. When you look at Heroes games, they are kind of like a huge box of chocolates, and you know, each chocolate has a different flavor and different color, and they're all interesting. And as a kid, I was looking at these things, and even though I didn't understand much from the game in the ways of strategies and stuff, I could observe the beautiful visuals of the game, and it felt like, you know, transporting me to a way different world. I was already a concept artist working in video games when I started doing my Heroes fan art. And it happened because one summer, me and my fiancé and my nephew, we were playing Heroes. And when I was waiting for my turn, I started doodling with a pencil on paper different funny scenes from Heroes. For example, a troglodyte painting a portrait of Minotaur King, but taking it all wrong because, you know, the troglodyte cannot see. Or like a titan kissing his bicep. You know, just little comedic scenes like this. And we have this group on Facebook. It's a group made by Polish fans of Heroes, and the group is called Hirawka. And people really loved it. You know, they would ask for more, so I would create more. So I was always really connected to our little Heroes community, especially with my fan art. To this day, the vinyl project, it's the artwork that I'm the most proud of. And having my own art being now officially in the Heroes canon is a very strange feeling, because I got into the world of Heroes since I was very, very young. So I was a fan of this game virtually my whole life almost. And having this transition from being a fan of the game and now having my art as a part of the Heroes universe, it's something very special and very important, you know, in my heart.
I think it was the end of the 2000s when strategy games started to lose their popularity like heavily.
At that time, PC games were difficult to sell in the US because people were really shifting to consoles. So Heroes especially suffered from that.
The taste of players, they evolved. New, more mainstream gamers, which were more into action, quick feedback gameplay.
Fast-paced shooters, action-adventure games, everything was in a blink.
So it was really a tough time for all the historical PC franchises, including Heroes of Might and Magic.
So I've worked on 3 Heroes games, 5, 6, and 7. And if I look at the 3 of them, I think the ones most of the fans prefer is 5 because it's closer to Hero 3. 7 had strong sales but kind of had mixed reviews. But my personal favorite is 6 because it's the one in which we tried to really push the quality standard and refine features and try to find something that would make the IP and the game evolve a little bit. Some fans like it, so I think we hit something there, but it was not perfect. So, along with the decline in popularity of PC and strategy games, the Heroes franchise was struggling a bit.
On the other hand, you had the rise of internet and online communities, and I think this is a big part why Heroes of Might and Magic is still relevant today and more popular than ever. This online community started first on forums, community websites, sharing resources, discussing the games. But later on, also, as the internet was developing, using all their means at their disposal, they were able to share maps, patches, full expansions, with campaigns, new heroes, new creatures. So what's really amazing is that decades ago, this wasn't planned at all at first in the game. But because of the resourcefulness of our community and the rise of internet, they were able to keep the game updated and relevant and still playable today.
So what is modding? Modding is basically like taking the original game and adding things to it or changing things, like fixing maybe balancing issues or introducing all new factions, creatures, well, even gameplay actually. So the Day of Reckoning is a mod for Heroes 3. Started out as the idea to bring back the original Forge Town, which is a faction that was cut from the first expansion. And since then, it has grown to be an entire modding platform for developers and gamers that basically want to be able to change pretty much anything with the original game. At this point, I'm actually not sure how many we are, 10 or 20 people. We have very, very good programmers, not me. There's things like working on the graphical assets. So that could be 3D modeling and creating these new environments or new creatures or new towns. Then there's of course the sound and music elements. And we also have lore enthusiasts, and even map making is considered part of the modding process.
Well, the passion for the modding scene for Heroes 3 is huge. I haven't seen it with many other games. And those modifications, they're really big. They put a lot of effort, like animations, sounds, music. It's like building a game that should be full priced.
So the mods are a huge part of what is keeping this game alive, because people can find new challenges and new features and new ways of doing things.
The Wake of Gods mod for Heroes 3 was the original one. But the Horn of the Abyss mod, I don't want to say official expansion, but it kept that quality of the original creators of the game. And I think that is a large part of what I guess kept the Heroes community and the game alive.
I started streaming when I was in university. During the end of my university years, I already grew an audience that was large enough to, support myself humbly, but support myself. And I haven't really gotten bored of it, even after streaming for almost 8 years now. Testing. 1, 2, 3. We are live. Hello and welcome everyone to a new Heroes of Might and Magic stream, where today we're gonna be having wonderful adventures and maybe for once I'll be reaching rank 1. Hope you're as excited for this as I am. A big percentage of people within my audience don't actually actively play the game. They have a big nostalgia factor, making them love all of the melodies that they hear in the background, all of these sound effects that they used to hear when they were young. They are not aspiring to be very good players, they just really enjoy anything Heroes of Might and Magic free.
Now, or if we're going to be playing in a time just one of the best V1 Fortress Stars that I've seen.
Almost every single day, there's a person that pops into my stream and is like, "Hey! This game, I used to play it. It's awesome that it's still alive." So honestly, I think that Heroes community is one of the biggest in the world, that almost everyone's a part of it, but not everyone is aware that it exists.
With Heroes, I had to think about what was the special ingredient, what is that secret sauce in it? And actually, I think it's 3 ingredients. One of it is the game design behind it. You just want to keep playing it over and over again, and you just don't want to stop. And the second, the aesthetics, the artwork and the music so emotionally engaged the players and really transported them to another world. But the third element to it, it's the fans. It is a fan community that was always so passionate about the game, passionate about it from the very beginning, and continue to be passionate about it today. They refuse to let the game die.
For Heroes, we are very lucky because it's for sure not the biggest community in the video game industry, but it's one of the most creative and the most passionate and engaged. Sharing a lot of cool stuff, they're creating a lot of cool stuff. So you don't engineer a legacy, but you rely on the community, on the players to keep it going, keep it alive.
Heroes of Might and Magic has like a really loving and welcoming community. Always feels like united.
Everybody is very passionate about it and they love these games and they keep these games alive. I think it's one of the greatest video game communities there is.
What's been really exciting lately is how Heroes has gone from something that was once just digital to now expanding into other physical formats.
When we started to work on a board game adaptation of Heroes 3, we had two major goals. First was to catch the spirit of the video game original, and the second was to make the board game as great as possible and have it stand on its own feet. Recreating several aspects of the video game for board game mechanics was quite challenging. For example, combat system required many simplification because normally computers do all the calculations, and for the board game, players have to do it themselves. And so after hours and hours of game testing, after visiting board game and fandom conventions with the prototypes, after collecting a bunch of feedback, in the end we did our best to try and implement it all. And the reception we have had so far from the community and other players has been amazing.
You know, the more is happening with this franchise, the more new people will see the game and will want to play it. And this way we can keep this game alive and show it to the new generations.
I love the new momentum that the game has now. We've seen like the board game. I feel like it showed how huge of a community this still is. I mean, I teach software testing and I had students who were like, oh, have you seen the board game? Just because I mentioned Heroes 3 in class.
It's exciting to see Heroes of Might and Magic expand beyond just the video games.
It's now about going further and growing the universe, starting from Heroes 3 most of the time because that's what people love and that's what people remember the best. But ultimately, the goal of all this is to start telling new stories as well. There's the legacy, the nostalgia, but there's also the future, and we want to build up on what people love, but to bring new, fresh experience, new characters, new stories, and new adventures.
When I saw the announcement trailer for Olden Era, at first I could not believe a new Heroes game was actually in the works after so many years of waiting. I was so excited that I watched every interview with Unfrozen, the developers, and read everything I could find online. Then we, a team of 2, decided to start a YouTube channel, Heroes Take Turns, and share all of this with the community.
Greetings, heroes. Welcome back. Today marks part 1 of a 2-part series.
The fact that it's been 30 years now kind of shows that the franchise built something timeless. And the community has the passion to keep it alive, no matter what.
Olden Era will consist of 3 game modes.
Working on Olden Era, the responsibility is like, I don't know, what's the biggest word than huge, but the hugest. It feels like we have one shot. Because even 30 years after they released the first game, people are still raving about playing like exactly Heroes of Might and Magic. Not other games, not strategy game, not tactical RPGs. People are searching for Heroes-like games. So this is kind of a genre-defining game for many players.
It's been almost a decade since the last Heroes of Might and Magic, Heroes of Might and Magic 7.
And so we are trying to make it a balance of all the new and to define what is classics and what is nostalgia. And what we keep repeating, that Olden Era, it's not a remake of any of the parts from 1 to 7, it's a new game, it's a new installment. We conducted multiple interviews with many community members while and before creating the game, asking what people liked about the older Heroes of Might and Magic games, what they would like to be improved, what they would like to be added. So we are working a lot to preserve the classic core gameplay and also the lore beats for them, and adding at the same time some of our own ideas. We really want to deliver this game great for the fans.
We want people to enjoy the game as much as possible, as long as possible.
And we hope that people will like what we come up with.
One of the most enchanting things about the Heroes series is the music behind that. And certainly Heroes would not be what it is today without the music.
What makes a good music is that you aren't bored with it. Like you can listen over and over again.
It's timeless, it's wonderful, it's just, it's one of the first games where I got the MP3 files, uploaded it to my MP3 player and just walked around listening to the music of the game.
What takes it to the next level is that it has unrivaled matchability with all the factions that it represents. All of the soundtracks are not only good, but they make so much sense in their own context. I don't think that any other game has ever done that well.
I think Paul Romero has really created magic for, well, I guess every Heroes game. His music is an integral part of the game. Really brings the immersion.
The music is very unique because the influences of Paul Romero are very Baroque. I think he calls it kind of Baroque fantasy. And because he takes inspiration from something that already seems like something from distant old times, it has this timelessness about it, and it really fits the fantasy world that Heroes is portraying.
It is that music that helps carry you into the world and really makes you feel like you are there.
It was no surprise that somebody in Poland took up the idea of playing the Heroes of Might and Magic music. I knew it would be a hit and a lot of people would like to hear this music live.
To me, change is, for better or worse, the most constant thing in our life. But I think video games have this magical power of being some kind of time machine. Because for the most part, you can come back to your favorite video game and it stays exactly how it was when you were a kid. And I think that's why it captivates so many people, that they keep on coming back to it.
It honestly feels a little bit weird that I am playing a game that is almost as old as I am. However, it has aged like so well that it doesn't really feel strange at all. It feels like exactly as it should be.
Heroes is a game that I'm not sure what my life would be without Heroes, and that's not like hyperbole. All these hours playing with my dad making maps was a sort of formative experience that would lead me to then become a level designer. And because I did some maps and some campaigns for Heroes, then my dream came true and I got to work on Heroes, and then 15 years later I'm still working in the video game industry.
I mean, I use the word heroes like probably more than 20 times per day. Everything I do is connected with heroes. My sisters play heroes. My mom knows my life goal and my work is connected with heroes. My girlfriend, her father, when we go for her house, we play heroes. When I go for work, I talk about heroes. When I rest, I play heroes. So I cannot imagine for now, like there is no force that can take away heroes from me, basically.
So I guess I have Heroes of Might and Magic to thank for a lot in my life. I mean, I'm a software engineer now, and that all started with like sitting there in the map editor and realizing like, wait, I can create things on my computer.
For me personally, I was playing Heroes games when I was a child. Now working and being a part of the next chapter, it's truly an honor.
Seeing this whole revival of Heroes of Might and Magic, I see so many creative ideas. You can play the old game, you can play the new game, you can have an RPG session, you can listen to the music, you can learn about the lore of Heroes of Might and Magic, then you can play a board game. So it's not only one old game, it's becoming like a universe.
When I see the excitement and I see the smiles, that's really what Heroes means to me as I think about it, is that how meaningful a game can be. Not only can it keep someone engaged at the moment, but if its meaningfulness carries on outside the gaming experience, it can be woven into the fabric of their lives. And it really made me realize the influence a game can have on players that really transcends pure entertainment.